Namaste, radiant souls. Welcome to Kal Mantra. Embrace divine grace, your sacred sanctuary where ancient mantras awaken your spirit and divine energy flows through every chant. I'm so grateful you're here. Whether you're seeking healing, elevation, or a deeper connection to the sacred, together we'll journey into the heart of mystical vibration. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Let's begin. What if everything you know about yoga is just the surface? Today, we dive deep into the hidden world of Tantra, where sacred rituals, awakened energy, and divine ecstasy transform yoga from mere exercise into a mystical path to enlightenment. This is yoga's best-kept secret. The modern yoga studio, with its sleek mats, designer leggings, and Instagram-perfect poses, seems worlds away from the smoky caves and cremation grounds where yoga was born. What we practice today as yoga, the precise alignment of asanas, the measured breathing of pranayama, the quiet focus of meditation, represents just one thread in a vast, intricate tapestry of spiritual practice. To truly understand yoga, we must journey back to its radical, transformative origins in the Tantric traditions of ancient India, where enlightenment wasn't found through rejection of the world, but through its ecstatic embrace. Tantra, often reduced in Western imagination to little more than sacred sex, is actually one of the most sophisticated and comprehensive spiritual systems ever developed. Emerging around the 5th century CE, Tantra represented a spiritual revolution, a defiant challenge to the orthodox Brahmanical traditions that reserved enlightenment for male ascetics who renounced all worldly pleasures. The Tantrikas proclaimed instead that divinity could be found everywhere, in the sensual as much as the sublime, in the marketplace as much as in the monastery, in the human body as much as in the heavens. Their radical assertion that the entire universe is the play of consciousness, and that by engaging with the world mindfully and skillfully, we can transform ordinary experience into the fuel for spiritual awakening. This philosophical foundation gave birth to what we now recognize as yoga. While Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, compiled around 400 CE, systematized the ascetic approach to spiritual liberation, the Tantric traditions were developing parallel practices that worked with rather than against human nature. Where classical yoga sought to still the fluctuations of the mind through withdrawal, Tantra sought to harness those very fluctuations as gateways to transcendence. The Hatha Yoga Pradipika, one of the most important medieval yoga texts, is deeply tantric in its orientation, teaching that the physical body contains the entire cosmos, and that by working with its energies, we can achieve liberation in this lifetime. The Tantric approach to spirituality is perhaps most vividly embodied in its use of ritual. Unlike the austere practices of classical yoga, Tantric rituals engage all the senses, sight through intricate yantras, sacred geometric diagrams, sound through potent mantras, taste through ritual offerings, touch through mudras, sacred hand gestures, and smell through incense and flowers. These rituals weren't empty ceremonies, but sophisticated psychological technologies designed to reprogram consciousness. The famous Kali Puja, for instance, where practitioners meditate in cremation grounds surrounded by corpses, isn't morbid fascination, but a direct confrontation with our deepest fears and attachments, a radical method for transcending the ego's grip. Perhaps no aspect of Tantra has been more sensationalized and more misunderstood than its approach to sexuality. While modern Tantric sex workshops often focus on prolonged pleasure, authentic Tantric sexual practices are actually rigorous spiritual disciplines requiring years of preparation. The Maithuna, sacred union, rituals described in texts like the Kalarnava Tantra are not about hedonism, but about the alchemical transformation of sexual energy into spiritual awakening. When properly practiced under guidance, these rituals can lead to states of non-dual awareness, where the distinction between self and other dissolves in the fire of pure consciousness. The Tantric worldview also gave us the map of the subtle body that has become central to modern yoga. The chakras, energy centers, nadis, energy channels, and kundalini, the dormant spiritual energy coiled at the base of the spine. This wasn't mere metaphor, but a precise cartography of consciousness, developed through centuries of direct experience. The Tantric yogis discovered that by working with breath, sound, and visualization, they could purify these energy channels and awaken Kundalini, leading to profound expansions of awareness, and ultimately, to the recognition of one's true nature as unbounded consciousness. In our modern yoga practice, we still encounter fragments of this tantric heritage, though often divorced from their original context. When we chant Aum, we're invoking a primal vibration that Tantric identified as the sound of creation itself. When we practice Asanas, we're engaging in physical forms that were originally designed not for fitness, but to purify the nadis and prepare the body for energy work. Even the now ubiquitous sun salutation, Surya Namaskar, has its roots in Tantric solar worship. The contemporary yoga world is witnessing a growing interest in reclaiming these Tantric roots. From the ecstatic dance of Shiva Ri's prana flow to the precise energetic alignment of Anusara Yoga, modern teachers are integrating Tantric philosophy and practice in ways that speak to 21st century seekers. Scholars like Christopher Wallace and practitioners like Sally Kempton are helping to demystify Tantra, presenting it not as exotic esoterica, but as a practical path to embodied awakening. As we stand at this crossroads between ancient wisdom and modern practice, we might ask, what would it mean to fully embrace the Tantric roots of yoga? It would mean seeing our practice not just as physical exercise, but as sacred ritual. It would mean approaching our mats as temples, where we honor the divine in every breath and movement. It would mean recognizing that every moment, on and off the mat, is an opportunity to remember our true nature as expressions of infinite consciousness. The Tantric sages taught that enlightenment isn't somewhere else, some other time, but here and now, in this very body, in this very life. As we unroll our mats today, we participate in a lineage that stretches back through centuries of seekers who dared to find the infinite in the finite, the eternal in the ephemeral, the sacred in the ordinary. This is the revolutionary promise of Tantra, not escape from the world, but total immersion in its divine play. In this light, yoga becomes more than a workout or even a meditation practice. It becomes a way of being fully alive, fully present, fully human. The postures become prayers, the breath becomes mantra, the body becomes temple. This is the gift of the Tantric tradition, a yoga that doesn't ask us to transcend our humanity, but to celebrate it as the very expression of the divine. As we move forward in our practice, let us honor these roots by bringing more awareness, more reverence, more joy to each movement. Let us remember that every asana, every pranayama, every moment of stillness is part of an ancient technology for awakening that has been passed down through generations of practitioners who, like us, sought to remember their true nature. In this way, we keep the living tradition of Tantra alive, not as historical artifact, but as vital, transformative practice for our times. The next time you step onto your mat, consider that you're not just doing yoga. You're participating in a sacred tradition that sees your body as a microcosm of the universe, your breath as the movement of cosmic energy, and your awareness as none other than the divine itself. This is the profound vision of the Tantric roots of yoga. A vision that invites us to go beyond asanas and meditation to discover the sacred in every aspect of our lives. This is yoga as it was originally conceived not as exercise for the body alone, but as alchemy for the soul. Thank you for joining me on this journey into yoga's deepest roots. If you enjoyed uncovering these Tantric secrets, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to explore more hidden wisdom together. Until next time, keep practicing. And remember, every breath is a chance to touch the divine.